One of the best places in the world for money laundering is a car wash. This thought struck him while his car was on the car wash rails, surrounded by nothing but soap suds and spinning brushes. It dawned on him that he could pool all his resources to start a business. It's strange how people think about the fundamentals of life and the entire universe while showering. A car wash, in a way, feels like taking a shower. Lately, his mind had been consumed with paying off the installment debt he owed to the bank, but his account was empty. Now, he was thinking about how to start a business. An idea came to him. He could sell his car. He could sell the household items he didn't need. He could talk to his wife about selling her expensive jewelry. After some quick calculations, he realized that by gathering all these resources, he could rent a shop and buy some inventory to sell. His idea was to open a convenience store right next to the car wash. When he got thirsty, he noticed there wasn't a shop nearby. Surely, a store like that would attract a lot of customers. But there was still something holding him back from putting his idea into action. His friends no longer supported him. Recently, they laughed at all his decisions and mocked him. From his failed attempts to invent a foolproof football betting formula, which cost him nearly $1,000 in a single month, to pre-buying remote plots of land, hoping the municipality would purchase them at a high price for road construction. That last one even made him laugh when he thought about it, because after months of research, he bought a plot only to discover it wasn't legally transferable. They had scammed him. For these reasons, he knew no one would support his idea of opening a shop. On top of that, he didn't have the energy to go down this path alone. He needed someone, even if just verbally, to back him up. As his car neared the end of the car wash and the brushes parted, letting sunlight hit his eyes directly, he snapped out of his self-doubt. As he exited the car wash, he scanned the area again to confirm there wasn't a convenience store nearby. While looking around, he heard a loud crash, and his car lurched forward. For a few seconds, he was in shock and instinctively turned off the engine. From the rearview mirror, he saw a young man whose car had rear-ended his. He didn't have the heart to check the damage, but when a passerby, after inspecting both cars, said, "Well, it looks like nothing's damaged," he found the courage to step out. Sometimes the hits we take in life are just loud noises, not causing much real harm. He got back into his car, which was practically undamaged from the accident. The young man was still apologizing, but he simply said, "Be more careful next time," started the car, and continued on his way. On the road, he thought about what would have happened if his car had been damaged and the insurance didn't cover it properly. How could he have executed his plans? He needed the money from selling the car to rent the shop, a car that was in good condition. So, relieved that no disaster had struck, he headed to a car dealership. He sold the car in less than an hour, at a price lower than its actual value. He couldn't remember the last time he'd made such an emotional decision. All his life, his decisions had been based on logic, but he'd never had good times. So this time, he decided to follow his heart. If someone wants to do something, they'll do it and push past all obstacles. Solutions for all the challenges ahead came to his mind. He no longer needed the support of his wife or friends. Though late, he'd realized the only person who needed to support him was himself. He headed to the car wash management office. He introduced himself like this: data analyst and businessman. Perhaps because of his betting analyses and buying abandoned land, he considered himself an analyst and businessman. Still, he had one request. He wanted to buy a shop next to the car wash, but he skipped overdone his introduction. and the situation shifted in a way that made it impossible to bring up the idea of a small convenience store. It wouldn't make sense for a big businessman to pursue such a modest venture. Suddenly, an idea struck him, and he blurted it out. "I want to buy this car wash." The car wash manager looked at him in surprise and said, "This car wash is set to close, and a large convenience store will open in its place next month, so we can't sell the car wash to you." Disheartened, the man took a taxi home, but he was glad about one thing. He hadn't shared this decision with anyone who could now mock him.